Now, why would the Harris campaign want anything to do with these clowns, especially Ashworth? I mean, he lost his seat to an independent, and he's giving electoral advice. I mean, Harris has become more popular when she leans into progressive campaigning. Why would they potentially disrupt the momentum with some Labour right briefcases? But this is essentially how well connected the Labour right are. I mean, they don't particularly have any skills or insight. It's just a club of people. Jonathan Ashworth is a guy that just won't go away. And since his loss, he's been plastered all over the media non-stop. Now, since losing his seat, which I have to say was incredibly cathartic. I mean, you would have seen my reaction on the live election coverage. He has become the chair of Labour Together, a Labour right think tank. Now, for some reason, apparently some in the US actually think he has some kind of worth in the political arena, along with Labour General Secretary David Evans. Senior Labour Party figures will head to the US to see Kamala Harris officially named the Democratic candidate for president this week and to share strategy tips with her campaign team. Jonathan Ashworth, the former MP who now leads Labour Together, a think tank with close links to Keir Starmer's inner circle, and David Evans, the party's General Secretary, will lead a delegation of senior party officials to the Democratic National Congress in Chicago tomorrow. Now, why would the Harris campaign want anything to do with these clowns, especially Ashworth? I mean, he lost his seat to an independent, and he's giving electoral advice. I mean, I really want to know who suggested to Harris's campaign team that these guys were worth flying over. Labour, in the most winnable election in history, got less votes than 2019 and 2017 with 33% of the vote. Jeremy Corbyn secured over 12 million in 2017, over 10 million in 2019, despite being the worst election result since 1935. Yet Keir Starmer, with all the client media and barely any scrutiny, along with Murdoch and the money, got 9.7 million votes, which, given the state the Tories are in, it's utterly abysmal. Now, even though Kamala Harris is just a liberal, I've been pretty impressed with her so far. I mean, obviously my expectations are low. The Democrats are no socialists. I mean, they're a centre-right corporatist party, which is why Harris, to me, has exceeded the low bar. But I like the fact that she's been talking about child poverty, price gouging, unions, and attacking Trump for giving tax breaks to billionaires. And it seems like the Dems have really taken on the Bernie Sanders message. I mean, Harris picking Tim Walz was very impressive. Now, if you don't know him, he's the governor of Minnesota, and throughout his career, I mean, he supports really good policies, namely providing free school meals for kids, and is very strong on unions. Now, contrast that to over here. Labour won't scrap the two-child benefit cap. They don't support free school meals. I mean, Sadiq Khan has done that in London, but, you know, he has that power as mayor. But Labour in government won't do it across the country. They won't raise taxes on the rich, and they support austerity. So Harris, let's be honest, is significantly to the left of Keir Starmer, even if she isn't very left-wing herself. So I'm perplexed as to why they got such idiots in Ashworth and Evans to give them help. I mean, Harris has become more popular when she leans into progressive campaigning. Why would they potentially disrupt the momentum with some Labour right briefcases? But this is essentially how well connected the Labour right are. I mean, they don't particularly have any skills or insight. It's just a club of people. That's why Ashworth is head of Labour Together. He isn't there because he's bright or anything. He's there because it's the faction he belongs to. After losing his seat, he was essentially taken care of and given a think tank that is close to the Labour leadership. So I can see how he got to a position where he's flying to the US to be involved with Harris's campaign, but I'm surprised that they wanted to receive them. I mean, unless that's not what's going on, maybe they don't actually want him there, which would be funny. So what is it he's helping with specifically? It seems that immigration is one of the issues that may see Evans and Ashworth provide a helping hand, along with green policies. Like in the UK, migration will be a key battleground policy in the campaign as the Republicans go on the attack, Mr. Ashworth told the Sunday Mirror. And the Biden-Harris administration has put a lot of investment in their green agenda. We want to learn how that features in their campaigning. He added, "It's my job to think through how Labour win a historic second term at the next general election. That's why I wanted to learn from campaigns across the world and will be travelling regularly, meeting our sister parties fighting elections over the coming years." Now, if Ashworth is helping the Dems on strategy when it comes to immigration, that legit feels like trolling. I mean, do you remember the things Ashworth was saying before he lost his seat? Singling out Bangladesh when talking about immigration for some reason, pissing off the entire community. I mean, that definitely helped him lose his seat. What does this man have to say on immigration that's worth hearing? I mean, he's just reactionary. Now, the strategy for the Dems is to defend immigration. I mean, the country will be utterly utterly screwed without it. It's been huge for the economy and culturally. I mean, so many different forms of American culture were created because of immigration. Now, a good attack line towards the Republicans on immigration is to point out that they don't actually care about this issue. Now, earlier in the year, there was a standoff between the federal government and Texas in terms of border security. Despite the fact that the federal government has complete control on immigration, Texan authorities would have had to go along with them. Biden decided to still compromise with a stricter immigration bill. Now, the Democrats all voted for it, yet despite this supposedly being what the Republicans wanted, Donald Trump instructed the GOP to vote against it in order to keep this issue alive and to attack the Dems. This should be brought up over and over again, proving the GOP has no principles, but they're just hyper-partisan. But Ashworth, I mean, you'll know he'll be advocating for the Dems to concede even more on immigration, allowing the GOP to set the terms of the debate, which, by the way, never works. Of course, there is a lot of anti-immigrant sentiment in the US, but there are enough people that will vote for you without capitulating on the issue, whereas over here, and I mean overwhelmingly the majority of people in this country, favour of being tougher on immigration. Now, in terms of green policies, again, I don't see how himself or anyone in the Labour Party has anything worth saying, as they severely water down a once good policy, which is the Green Prosperity Plan. Now, I'm hoping that the Harris campaign didn't really know much about these figures and it just accepted help because, I don't know, why not? And I hope they ignore everything they say anyway. They're not masters of electoralism. Nothing they did paved the way for the supermajority. It was, as we all know, a complete collapse of the Tories. If these lot knew what they were doing, they would have done far better than the 33% share of the votes that they got in July. I'm excited to say that Turn Left has significantly grown this year, and with that, we've managed to produce far more ambitious content, interviewing high-profile people. We did a 12-hour live election show. There are multiple people behind Turn Left, but we are still working around our full-time work. But we would love it if this was our full-time. It means we could dedicate so much more and to bring even more ambitious content. So if you've been here from the beginning, or you've only recently become a viewer, if you like what we do, then you can help us out. Please like and share this video. Make sure you drop a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback. And we desperately need more independent media. If you want to see a socialist media alternative thrive, then you could be part of that. So if you can, you could support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month, or any one-off donation. We can use that money to upgrade our equipment, to rent out a proper studio, and to start paying ourselves. This is only the beginning. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Patreon.com, Turn Left Media. Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you, Turn Left.